I'm Ryan Betson from the Pop Culturists, and this is our review of Bravo Team for PlayStation VR. Let's get the formalities out of the way. Big thank you to PlayStation Australia for providing us the code for Bravo Team. We do truly appreciate it. So Bravo Team is a first-person cover-based VR shooter where you are a member of the Bravo Team, funny enough, where you and another soldier escorting a fictional European president, high-ranking political woman. It's not quite clearly stated. I'm pretty sure she's president. I'm not 94% sure that she's president. Anyway, during the escort mission, you are overrun. You are forced to crash. She is nicked off. They've kidnapped her. You're led to believe that she has been shot. And you're later then come to learn that she's in fact alive and you need to get her back. So what you do is essentially push your way through a bunch of waves of different generically looking soldiers to get to an end point. One of the easiest way to explain what this game is, it's essentially Time Crisis, but not so on rails. And what I mean by that is Time Crisis has, if you're especially thinking of the arcade versions, it has you hiding behind cover. You would press a little pedal. You would stop up. You'd shoot, duck back down, reload, do what you need, and repeat. This is pretty much that, but with the freedom to pick your cover. So in Time Crisis, you would be up, boom, boom, kill the wave, and then move whichever. The benefit of this is you have the ability to choose your cover. Now, granted, it is a somewhat linear story in terms of you are constantly moving forward and you do have to get to point A to point B. There's no open worldness to it in that sense, but you do have the luxury of deciding how you get from A to B. So you and your fellow soldier, whether that be an AI companion or a buddy playing online, you will then proceed to push your way forward to get to the end goal. How you do this, as I mentioned, is up to you. You can both take down the side, you can split apart, and you can try flank the enemies. So rather than facing them head first, you can go around behind them, take them out if you use a bit of smarts. In terms of that gameplay system, I did like it a lot. It took me a while to get into the swing of it because it did feel a bit jerky, and I guess a little archaic, because my brain was very much thinking Time Crisis, very much on rails. I'm like, oh, cool. So I wasn't using initially a lot of my out of the box thinking. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna duck around this way, jump around here, snug out, take them from the side. Never really thought of that at the beginning, but as the more I played this, approximately 3-ish hours, I think I did it in about 3 hours, single player campaign, you do get into the swing of it. You start to feel the groove, and as a result, I particularly found myself, because I played the game standing, I found myself ducking and weaving and sort of being a bit more tactical. When I first started, I was very stiff and very kind of just doing what I needed. Now, I should mention that I was playing with the PlayStation aim controller. It still looks like PVC pipe with a torch on the end, but this game, similar to Farpoint, is designed around this peripheral, which is great because this peripheral was expensive, so I like that I get to use it a little bit more often. And initially, it's all well and good. I find the tracking for this not as good as it could be. I did actually have to get my wife to come out and assist me, because when I was playing the game, when I felt that I'm going to shoot directly at you right there, I felt when I was in game having it point directly forward, it was actually sitting like this for me, and that was really actually even like that. So whole idea is what should have been, we'll do it this way, there you go, that should have been straight. However, in the tracking kept forcing me to not line it up correctly. And this is a consistent thing that I found when using the aim controller, of course. I found this in Doom VR. I also found this in Farpoint. I do think it's just the disadvantage of the tech. With only having one form of visual representation being the light at the front, and obviously the accelerometers and whatnot are inside it. I don't feel that it can accurately track as well as it should. But when it does work, it is good fun. There's the other thing as well. I had to sort of remove my stiffness, I guess, probably the best way to put it. So rather than sort of, standing there forward like this, I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I was like, no, tilt the body, elbow up, get in there, duck, weave, shoot, that sort of stuff. It was good fun. Speaking of guns though, there are quite a number of different guns in this game. 4 in particular, sorry. So there is the machine gun, which is your stock standard. There is a shotgun, which is beautiful. It's got a nice punch to it that really just obliterates people in front of you. It is a little one shot, one kill, but at a certain distance, of course. That's well and good. The third is a handgun, so your sidearm. Unlike the others, it does have unlimited ammunition, so when you are down or when you're out of ammo, you can pop out the silenced pistol and go that way. And the fourth option being a sniper rifle, which was a lot of fun because it forced you to bring the controller up to your shoulder as if you were looking down a scope. And it did have a scope that was only visible when put in close proximity to your face. Downside with the resolution of the VR itself, it was quite blurry using the scope, so you weren't able to really get like a clear picture of what you were shooting at, but that's more of a technical limitation rather than a game limitation, so that's pretty fine. Each of the 4 guns did feel unique, and I did like some more than the others. I was a big fan of that shotgun. It felt really good, especially when like blind firing around a door, just poof, and then you just hear them drop. It's damn good fun. But in terms of modes, there are 2, pretty much. So the main, obviously, being the single player campaign, where it's front to back. You do what you need to get from the start until you get to the credits. And the second being like a score attack mode. So you would still use the same 10-ish levels. I think it's like 7. So, 7-ish levels. But the whole idea is rather than just getting through it to progress the story, see how many kills you can get. Obviously, more points for different shots and that sort of stuff. I didn't dive too deep into that. I think that'll be something that I'll dive into more come full release, when my friend, I got a couple of buddies that are picking this game up, where I can actually jump into online co-op and play alongside them. So at time of recording, at time of review, there wasn't a lot of people to play online with, so I didn't really dive too deep into it. And I'm fine with that. I would have loved to have dived in there, but I understand that is something that will come in time. And for those trophy hunters of you out there, it is a relatively easy platinum. Although I don't have the platinum, I was able to get 60-70% of the trophies in one run. There are a couple of slight variants, as in go the whole way through without dying. Pretty standard if you were to put it on easy, but there's no difficulty assigned trophies, which is nice. It's not played on easy, played on hard, played on veteran. There's none of that, which is really cool. It's pretty straightforward. Just like, hey, do it once, and then slight variants on it. So in the same way that like Job Simulator, another VR title with a relatively easy platinum, whole idea is play it once, you not pretty much get all the way through in one go, come back, do some tweaks. So I've kind of brushed over a lot of the big parts of the game, and I think we'll get into sort of the nitty and gritty. First big question, is it worth the $54.95 that I believe that's what EB Games are pricing it for? The tough answer is no. I enjoyed my time with the game. It took me a little while to get into it, but with what I like to call the VR tax, where any game instantly gets about a $10, $15 jump on it because it's VR and they're expecting to get, move less copies, so they need to make the money elsewhere. With that VR tax, it does make it a little bit hard to, recommend, I guess. Just simply because it is a 3-hour campaign. There is only one way through. There's a slight little fork at the end, but you can just easily go back to that scene and redo it to get, both outcomes. I think a lot of the fun will come with the co-op, which, as I mentioned, I've not dived in too much, but I will be doing that hopefully over the next couple of days, now that it will be in release, and I will be talking about that come Monday with the next episode of For the Players, the Pop Culturist PlayStation podcast. Well, I'll go into a bit more detail there about the co-op side of things. If the game were cheaper, I would probably recommend it more highly. It is fun. It is a good sort of on-the-rails shooter, although I initially expected it to be a bit more free roam in terms of its shooting, because that's what I've come to expect in VR. I guess that is sort of my own pre-misconceptions coming into it. With recent games like Doom and like Skyrim, two Bethesda games as an example, free roam is good. I like free roam a lot. And I think you can have a lot of fun with it. Granted, you won't be able to get really nailed down the Twitch shooter style that you would get from like a Call of Duty in VR, because you would just vomit your face out. It was cool. I did, this to me is what a standard VR experience would be. Whether that be good or bad, it is a standard VR experience. With Moss, as an example, is very different. It has you looking from a third perspective. You're still first person, but you're not in it. You're observing the situation. You're following a story through that. So it gives you a different look onto the world, almost like a godlike view of the world. Where a first person shooter is what I expect VR to be. So is this a bad game? Not at all. It is a perfectly average game. We live in the world where everything is either good or bad. There's no in the middle. I guess what? This game is in the middle. It runs fine. I had no major... There were a couple little pop in here and there with some sort of like plants and stuff, but in terms of how it ran relatively smooth. Never had any major glitches, any major problems. There was nothing that made the game unplayable. As I mentioned, the campaign itself is a little bare bones, but it's workable. It's fine. It's what we've come to expect as VR standard. So if you do decide to pick up Bravo Team, I don't think you'll be disappointed. I think you will enjoy yourself and enjoy what it is, but you do have to go into it, knowing what it is, knowing that it is that on-rails shooter. Once you're cool with that, it's pretty fun. So in summary, Bravo Team is a good game. I would not consider it a must-buy in the same vein of the Batman Arkham game or Job Simulator or anything like that, but it is a good bit of fun. I personally would recommend waiting until it gets a little bit cheaper. If there's a sale on the PSN or in store, that's where I think you should jump on board. But you will have a good time as long as those expectations are in check. As I said, expect a lovely, standard VR experience. So let us know in the comments below if you're picking up Bravo Team, or if you have already played it, tell me what you thought about it. Let's have a bit of a chat. Bravo Team is available exclusively on the PlayStation VR from the 7th of March and on digital and physical store shelves. But anyway, until next time, I'm Ryan Betson from the Pop Culturists, and that is our review of Bravo Team on the PlayStation VR. See you in the next one.